So most mornings I'm up early, right? And I often have a time of quiet reading scripture and a time of prayer that I start my morning. I've been doing this for years. The exact actions change, but it's still the same rhythm. I'm often up early when it's dark, and I enjoy a little time of quiet before the coffee kicks in, before life gets rolling, and everything happens, right? And I tend to be sitting often on my couch. I'm not sure why it's always my couch. It's not overly comfortable or glamorous, but that's where I go. And this time of year, my couch is in front of my Christmas tree. And it's a pretty tree, right? This time of year, we're not overly picky when it comes to trees. We tend to like to cut our own, but gloriously utilitarian in this. We're out there with a Sawzall and we find the first thing that fits our criteria of not too short, not too tall, straight-ish, in only one bad spot so you know which side goes in the corner. And that's it. Cut the tree down, make it home before everybody's happy, and it turns into a dumpster fire, right? And normally our trees are fine. But this one's actually pretty. And the kids mostly decorated themselves, and the ornaments actually aren't all jammed together in the same square 2 feet. It's really kind of nice. So this morning I'm up, and I'm sitting there and I'm praying, and I look and realize my tree's kind of crooked, right? My pretty little tree isn't horribly off, but it isn't where it should be. And then after look for a bit, I think I'm gonna let it stay crooked. I like that you can't see it from all the angles, only 2 sides, and it's mostly this pretty little tree. And I like the reminder that when I sit in the right place, I just see that it's a little off kilter, right? And it feels to me like a reminder for what this season should be. The season normally of Christmas is the time of doing all the things where it feels overwhelming and it's bright and sparkly. We run around and exhaust ourselves trying to do all the things that we feel obligated to do. And that's in a normal season. But there's many of us for whom that this season is also a time that is just hard. We know that the holidays times there's a sharp spike in mental health crises. There's more suicide, more depression, more loneliness, more isolation. It's a season filled with all the lights, absolutely. But it's also got a lot of dark that creeps around the edges. Things look great from a distance, and when you look closer, that's when you can suddenly realize that things are just often a little off kilter. And so I want to keep my tree up to remind me that we're all just a little crooked. And I want to remind you that in these moments that we all have crooked trees in our lives and places where things look great from a distance, but as we get closer, we realize they're not as bright and sparkly as we want to. Maybe that's within ourselves. Maybe that's with some of the burdens and weights and grief that we bear this year. Maybe it's with friends or family, or maybe it's in our society where we sing, right? When we come together in this time, it's a reminder that yes, there's a lot to celebrate, and yes, things are good, and yet there's still a sense of brokenness and hurt and pain that comes through living in this life. And it's also for me a reminder that there's hope. There's a reason we celebrate Christmas, and it's not because of just like it's a baby Jesus, right? That it's the advent, the beginning, the birth of hope. And we know it's one of those seasons when people long to come to church. They actually want to come to church. They want to come sing the songs and hear the story and be reminded that there is something beyond this mortal coil, as the old poets say. And that's the place of invitation that we have, where we can look around the world, where we can see in ourselves or in our world where things are just a little crooked, and invite people into a relationship and a possibility of hope. Invite them to a church service. Invite them to go sing carols. Invite them out for dinner or coffee. Invite them into your home and just make space. Make space for light that shines in the darkness and the darkness that cannot grasp it. Grace and peace, friends. Have a good week.